Hi guys, at ArcoLinux we have a lot of information. It's like a little university where you can study Linux. And we happen to be on ArcoLinux. So ArcoLinux has all these possibilities, and before you start how to learn and how to install and all that, there's a learning path that we describe. You need to set some things in your motherboard, maybe pre-installation things. And I'm gonna make this a new video for the installation. So there are lots of choices you can have, and we have here a video how to install ArcoLinux, all the things you should know. I'm gonna change this particular video, so the one we're making is gonna go in here, and this is everything you need to know for all the XS and the XL and the Bs and the D. Well, it's a separate one because it's a little bit more technical. So this is the video, XL, XS and Bs. This has changed. There have been some changes. Beginning of 2024, you'll get it. So let's start from scratch and open a new template. In a week's time, you'll have the ISO already on AAG. That means you can test it. It's like a folder where beta testers or wannabe beta testers can actually get them before release. You can test them out. So here is the ArcoLinux 24.0104. An official release is beginning of January 1/01/24. So once you've burned the ISO on USB with the tool for your preference, there's Etcher, there's Linux Mint that we have as a tool on ArcoLinux, the Mint stick, right? It needs to be bootable. So you see this, or you see a logo. So if you're an old computer, you know, gonna boot into BIOS and not UEFI. BIOS has this nice blue logo, I believe, and ArcoLinux D has the white logo. UEFI, new machines, you look at this. And then you decide, I have Intel and have AMD as graphical driver. Cool, that's this one. I do believe I have an NVIDIA driver. Well, let's hope that NVIDIA DKMS supports your driver. And the most recent drivers are supported, but NVIDIA has many drivers. You'll find them on the AUR. So if this doesn't work, if that doesn't work, that's the fallback. That's a safe graphics, the no mode set. You get, I don't know, 840 on 640, I think, pixels often inside this virtual machine, and then you do your thing. You get the drivers that you need. You build the drivers that you need. You install them. So on VirtualBox, first one is good. Intel is good. AMD is good. First one. And then the change, right? There are different ways to boot up. ArchWiki, systemd, boot, ArchWiki, grub, and there is another one, but okay, let's stick to two that we support from now on. So make sure you can boot. That's the first thing. Maybe the motherboard, you need some settings. Burn the proper way. USB can be broken, you know the drill. Check everything, every step of the way. That's in the website, arcolinux.com, start. The new thing is these two guys here. You can now choose, well, let's start from the beginning. First of all, let's make a very complete video. Ctrl-T and mirror list, right? Nobody needs anything. We just can do this. This is where the packages are coming from. So if you say this is not good for me, it takes too long to get the packages from here to South America, here to Australia, right? Then you say, I'm gonna tell the system, I'm gonna check, give me the fastest, the best ArcoLinux, not Arco, ArcoLinux mirrors for me. Click, done. Run gpart is an application you may know, and it's actually to clean things up. If you have too many partitions, they're too complex, then Calamares might fail, right? You just say, what's going on, right? So this is a clean slate kind of thing that we don't have now because we started again in VirtualBox. So you see all these blocks, these partitions, and you can select them and put them in the wastebasket. So now there's an extra choice. In the past there was just grub installation, so if you don't click this, that's fine, it will be still grub. But if you do want to change and you say, I want to have a look at the system deboot thing, which is not awesome, it's black and a few lines, that's it, and you boot up kernel 1, or if you have second kernel, kernel 2, that's it, and you can go to the firmware, 3 lines. So it's not fancy at all, it's system deboot. So this is graphical, non-graphical, and you choose. So if you click here, it's now changed to system deboot. If you click again, it is back to grub, and if you don't click anything, it's grub. This again is you're on the beach, there is no internet, and it's always going to work. Let me remind you again, use the easy installation if the advanced installation fails. It's fun, this one, but there are so many parameters that can go wrong over which we have zero control. All right, we'll go and have this one to have a look at it. But this is the default. Well, let's show the default and let's stop it. This is the default. Welcome, location, keyboard, partition, user. Every Linux distribution has it. This would be safe if we just provide that. But the users say, we do like this, and yes, we can live with the fact that sometimes it fails, and then we'll fall back to that one. So advanced installation online gives you a long list of interesting tools like these guys, and the Xenmods and RT and RTLTS have been removed. You can still install them, test them. Hopefully they get better over time. And then next, also Intel Ucode, have a look, ArchWiki Ucode or Intel Ucode, and see what it provides. You can install it. Some of us need it, some of us don't need it, right? I've never installed it because I'm basically too lazy. But yeah, in some machines, this particular package improves your system. So next, the drivers, SDM. Important to mention the word WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get, right? This setup is WYSIWYG. What you see here is what you get. And the XL is the complete one. To make it simple, that's mine. That's mine, right? I want to have all this on my machine. And more. This is not enough. But at least this. So if you say, don't want that, then later on you run a script to say remove this is that. But better is take the ArcoLinux XS. XS stands for extra small. XL stands for extra large. So here a lot of applications are in here. But it's also the XL ISO, your first time on Linux. What applications are there, right? There are a lot of applications that, and if you're coming from Windows or Mac, and you say, what are the names? They're already installed, and here you see more. We give you the possibility to combine, in this case, XFCE with TK or Dusk or CHADWM and so on. These are tiling window managers. You choose, not everything is combinable, but that's where you learn. Next, packages that we use, that we have created. Meta package means a package with a lot of things in there. This contains, I think, around 50 colorful themes of Arc theme. This is nice, the blue icon theme. This is blue, Arc blue. But you can change the blue to orange and red and gray and purple and so on. There's a lot of variations here, Asian fonts, some fun stuff. I mean, it would take us too long, but here you see again all the colors. If you say I don't want a meta package, not everything, but I do like the emerald, right? That's just the one. So these are all these Arc themes that we've created, wallpapers in here and so on. Lots of stuff. It would take too long to go over them. But here you have everything organized by communication, development and so on. So have a look at these applications. Some of them you'll know, some of them you'll learn, and that's the fun. Some of the things depend on the fact if you want to have ButterFS later on. So X4, ButterFS, XFS, there are different ways of formatting your hard disk. And if you're thinking of using ButterFS, then either you go for Timeshift or for Snapper and ButterFS. In my case, I'm X4, so I won't install that. I could, by the way, install this if I wanted to, but then just the Timeshift, right? Next, scroll through it, there's more. VMware maybe. Next. This is what I need extra. So even though there's already a lot, right? The WYSIWYG thing, I've removed this from the Excel, and if I want them, I need to click them. So it will be downloaded, which takes time. Slow internet, intermittent internet, right? Not okay, not good, intermittent, but slow internet. First downloading, then installing of all the packages. And from time to time, I select a lot of packages just to check, and it takes, I don't know, never timed it, but a long while to download everything and then install it. So choose your keyboard. Yeah, we're going maybe a little bit too fast here. So basically, this tells you, it knows normally where you live, otherwise you set it. And the language is set if everything is okay, the way it is, fine. Otherwise you go in and you check it out and see what needs to be changed. This is a trial of Calamares to set everything the way it should be, right? But it might go wrong. And then my keyboard is a Belgian keyboard. Unfortunately, I need to change your ways. And here's the choice where you make ButterFS, JFS, Riser, F2FS, XFS. A word for the people who are longer on ArcoLinux. XFS used to be a problem with grub. At this point in time, it works again, right? So we see. You decide what you choose. There's no guarantee that it keeps working. Basically, my advice, X4, ButterFS, those work for me all the time. Maybe you haven't noticed, but since we now have the possibility to have systemd, I have enlarged the EFI system here, the partition that we're gonna put the boot files in, /boot EFI, is a little bit bigger, so you can play around with systemd and then back to grub and back to systemd, and then all the kernels that have some space. Next, this is you telling what's your name, login, password. Use the same for the password administrator. Make your life simple. Always the same password, whether you're user or root. Okay. Well, decide if you want that. If you want to log in automatically at home, that sounds like it's okay. On a laptop, maybe you like to do this. And then next, and you can see again here the size, 1000 megabytes that we have. Nothing to say here. And then you install the system. So that's the new way of installing. Decide for yourself, I keep using grub or not. I'll let it install, and I'll show you that after the installation you can still go back to grub, or go to systemd boot, or go forth and back between it, like you used to with 2SDM, 2LightDM, 2LXDM. We have these aliases that make it simple to switch between Display Manager 1, Display Manager 2, back to the other one, right? If one fails, you go back. If grub fails, you go to systemd boot. Systemd boot fails, back to grub, and hopefully that gives us some more flexibility, versatility, and fun. All right, let's wait for this machine to install itself, and then we'll reboot. So at the very end, you have the button restart now. If you click here, it's already done. The restart tick there makes it reboot. So you have here, we've chosen grub. I should check what I've done last, but we've changed the settings, I suppose back to grub, which is fine. Take a look at E. With E you can see what's going on. VM Linux is going to be started, and we have a fallback here as well. So if you, this is the normal, basically the normal ArcoLinux procedure for the last 6 years, right? That's how long the project is already going on, almost 6.5 basically. But who's counting? Anyway, you check this out, install software, launch ArcoLinux, all kind of fun stuff, right? Software RAM is here, and the ArcoLinux tweak tool is here. That's software RAM. Take a look, a lot of stuff to install. Packages with a click, remove packages with a click, also good. And lots of things you can install, this being the selling point, to just install Barry or BSPWM with a click of a button anywhere on Arch. So this can go. With systemd being here, we have created aliases. Boot is one, so we know what do we use to boot. Kernel is one, to know what kernel do we have, or kernels do we have. 2 folders maybe, LTS, these are basically folders. So I know that's what I've installed. If I want to go to grub, I do this. If I want to go to systemd boot, which is now the case, I just run this thing. And easy peasy, grub is no longer in control. Sudo reboot as SR. And this is the systemd thing, right? So you could have selected that in the beginning in Calamares, and you will have this black screen with 3 lines. That's it. You can even make more changes to systemd boot, but maybe that's better for another video. So is there any difference? Not really. I mean, it's a different boot system to grub, and you want to have back the graphical kind of approach to boot. And systemd is out and grub is back in. So it's always a choice in the beginning. If you say don't want to move, I've been on grub for the last 6 years, I rely on grub, great. Don't click anything there in the beginning, and you'll have this nice graphical choice, and you can change everything, right? In the ArcoLinux tweak tool, there is no way to change anything in systemd boot. In grub, you can change the wallpapers and the design there. Okay, that's it for me. That's the there are of course more to say, but enough for an installation video. Maybe I should end with aliases. We have quite a few aliases. Investigate, investigate, investigate. It grows and it grows, this list, and it's in the bash.rc. So in here is anything, and if you want to change things, add bash.rc personal, and then everything will be fine. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, it just adds your aliases to the end of this thing, right? bash.rc personal, if you create this, put a lot of aliases in there, it just gets added or changed, overwritten if you want. Last thing, see that you know what scale is, right? Certainly the guys who are experimenting with tiling window managers, it tends to break if you have a comma, a space, a semicolon, right? And it's not in the right place. You can't boot into your tiling window manager anymore. Scale can be a blessing or a curse. There's lots of videos about it, but have a look. Okay, have fun at, well, learning Linux. That's mastering Linux, and we just really happen to be in ArcoLinux. Why? There's a lot of information on the Arch wiki. So Arch wiki, that's one thing. Go and have a look there. And we have the ArcoLinux websites. Go and have a look there. You can start with .com, but there is the info, ArcoLinuxD. Here it's arranged more by choice, right? You choose to have XFC, you choose to have tiling window manager, and you choose to have Wayland, Hyperland, and so on. It's choice more like focused on the D from desktop, and the ArcoLinux.com is more general information, because we have information about managing software, sound system settings, design stuff, applications. So a lot of generalized information. Later on, if you want to build ISOs, but that's later, right? At the university, you don't start with building ISOs, you start later. So this is the learning path that we have written down for you. And in the end, you can actually become a distributor and builder, a distro builder, if you want that as a goal in the future. Create your own distribution, and all these guys have went through the path, right? Went through the university and have their own ISO and their own look and their own ideas. And that's the thing, right? Linux, you can build it up with all kind of configs and packages, and you can make it your own. The only thing you need is knowledge, and that's what we share here. And that's what ArchWiki shares here, and so many other YouTubers, let's say. So join us in learning about Linux. Cheers.